family, what is up? We are back and better than ever. So, for those of you who are listening on the social platforms, podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, your girl has made a Good Vibras YouTube. So, this episode will also be on YouTube, Good Vibras Podcast. And I'm so excited because I was very hesitant to make a YouTube channel for the podcast. I wanted to for a while, but I was like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. And then I started off with the IGTV videos, and I got such good feedback. Everyone was like, you should record actual videos for your podcast episodes. And I was like, I don't know, it's kind of a pain to do an IGTV for podcast episodes. I was like, what other platform could I use? And I was like, YouTube is definitely like the platform to use. But I was like, I don't know, like, should I make a YouTube channel? I don't know. So I was like on the fence about it, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. So here we are on YouTube, Good Vibras. I know I haven't posted an episode since September, and I wanted to apologize, but I also wanted to thank you guys as well, because you guys are so supportive and are very patient with me. Obviously life things happen, and you know, for me it's always a priority to like take care of myself first. And like I've mentioned before, like I don't want to put content out there if I'm not like being genuine about it or not in the right headspace. So basically, from my last post in September up until now in December, it is December 5th. Well, when you're listening to this, it won't be December 5th, but at this current moment, it is December 5th. So I know it's been some time since I posted, but during that period, during these last few months, I've really been able to figure out, like, you know, where, you know, who I want to be, where I want to be within the next year, what goals I want to achieve from, you know, me trying to come up with a brand name for myself, Good Vibras, my social media content. I have a lot of exciting things coming, episodes with awesome people that I can't wait to have on the podcast, and some exciting news that I have to hold off to announce. A few news actually. So basically, I need to take care of certain things before I fully bounce back into the podcast. So, and also, you know, I was on the fence of doing the YouTube. So then I had to get the equipment. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I had my cousin who was helping me figuring out like how to record with like people out of state, do like a Zoom call, figure out all those technological things, and then obviously like the graphics and editing for the channel and all that stuff. So shout out to my cousin Evian, who has been super supportive, and he is helping me with editing since I have a really busy schedule, and it's just gonna get even more busy. But episodes are coming. Good Vibras is going to be on my priority list as well, because I really want to expand like the community that I have, who it reaches. And that's also why I was like, yeah, YouTube's gotta happen, because everyone's on YouTube. Like, I'm always watching YouTube. I'm sure all of you guys are as well. So this is really exciting for me. I'm nervous, but I'm also super excited because, you know, I've been praying about it. I always pray before I do an episode, pray over the podcast, and I'm just excited. So this episode, as you see, it's titled The Return of Good Vibras and a Q&A. So basically the Q&A, a few weeks ago, I submitted on Instagram, or I posted on Instagram like those question bubbles, and I was like, you know, ask me anything you want, I'll talk about it on the podcast. I figured a little Q&A would be cool, not necessarily a personal Q&A about my life, but it's just about like really interesting topics. Like, these questions are so good. I'm like, these are gonna be good to talk about. So we will get started with that in a few, but I just wanted to say thank you again for you guys being so loyal and just supportive and patient, and I can't wait for you guys to see what's ahead for Good Vibras, because there are some good episodes coming and awesome people that I'll be bringing onto the Good Vibras podcast channel and all that. So subscribe to the Good Vibras podcast on YouTube if you haven't already. Like and comment. That really helps with engagement. You guys know all those analytics, how that works. Share it, you know, to anyone you think who might benefit from any episode. Season 1 won't be on YouTube. It's gonna stay on the just podcast platforms. But going forward, now all these episodes, that person was speeding. Going forward, all these episodes will be on YouTube as well. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up that season 1 won't be on YouTube, but going forward, season 2 and on will be on YouTube. So that is that. Trying to think if there's anything else I have to say. No, basically Good Vibras is back. Better than ever, like I said, and let's just dive into the Q&A. So I'm using my phone to record. So I have my iPad and I have a couple questions that you guys submitted. A lot of these were really thought-provoking, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, these are deep. Now, I did briefly like glance over the questions, but I am literally answering them like on the spot right now. Like, I did not type up anything or really think about it. So this is live reaction and responses. The first question is, can you speak more on your school experience and being an LPN? So for those of you who have been listening to Good Vibras, I did an episode a while ago. I think this was like one of my first episodes about my nursing journey, my experience, and all of that. And I'll leave it in the description box so you guys can listen to it. It was a 10-month accelerated program, so we were like non-stop, like Monday through Friday, full-time, like quizzes every day, tests every week almost. Like it was crazy. Like I think about it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, like how did I do that? And shout out to my instructors for being amazing. Awesome classmates, had awesome study groups. Like we really buckled down and just like grinded, and God as well too, you know, like he was with me every step of the way. As some of you know, I was in an RN program before, and then I did fail out of the program, and that's why I did go to the LPN program, and I went that route, and it was awesome. Honestly, I am so grateful because I really feel like it helped me become the best nurse that I am today. You know, all the hands-on experience and just being able to have that sense of like accomplishment, like after failing a program, and then being able to, you know, have a second chance in a different, you know, a completely different route that I didn't expect, but like make it to the finish line. It was an amazing feeling. And like I said, we had great instructors, which makes a big difference with the nursing program as well, because nursing's hard. Like, you know, you're learning how to like save a life and treat people and just take care of them, and it's a lot. It's a very selfless career. So I do enjoy being an LPN so much. I have been in pediatrics my entire LPN career. I truly love working in peds. I do. These kids have been such a blessing to my life and truly make my day. I'm telling you, it is amazing when you can say that you love what you do. You know, there are tough days at work. I'm not going to say there aren't tough days. I truly love what I do. Like, I love going to work. I love seeing my kids. I truly love it. It's a blessing, and being able to take care of them and, you know, heal them and just be there for them. You know, kids are so innocent. Like they need that love, they need that compassion, they need that patience. And I've learned so much being in the pediatric population as well. Now for the future, will I always do pediatrics? I don't know. I feel like once I have like my own family, I definitely would want to dive into something else. I've always loved OB, which is labor and delivery, women's health. I do love that aspect of nursing as well. So we'll see. I'm very open to anything. I definitely want to grow in my career. I will be going back to school, which I'll do another episode on like my updates on like my nursing life. But I do plan on going to school. Obviously, my plan was to go this year, but then Lupus kind of like held all that back. So, but that's okay, because I will go back to school. The good thing is schools are always there, right? So, but yeah, I love being an LPN, and if you have a desire to help others and care for other people and just make a difference, highly recommend nursing it, especially if you have a passion for it already. Do it, because we definitely need more nurses, as you guys can tell, just the last few years of the pandemic and everything, you know. Nursing, the career itself, you know, it can be draining, it could burn you out, but it also is a blessing. And that's why I also encourage, like, if you already know like what specialty you want to go into, go right into it. Like, a lot of people say, oh well, you should go into med surg first. No, if you know what you want to do, go right into it, because like I said, like when you love what you do, it makes a difference in your performance and just your outlook on the career and everything. So that's my little spiel on nursing. But like I said, if you guys want to know like my whole journey, for those of you who haven't listened to it, I'll leave it in the description box, the episode. It's from season 1. So Yes. The next question is, do you think this new age of social media brings more good or bad to our mental health? That's a great question. So, honestly, I feel like for, and again, these are all my opinions also. For me personally, I feel like social media became toxic at one point, like years ago, like when it first came out, and like, we all were just like consumed with it and everything. Not that we're not now, but I think social media now, the way that people are using it, there's a lot more good, a lot more positive aspects to social media versus like a few years ago. My social media, I like to make it a positive space for me. I follow a lot of quotes. For those of you who follow me, you guys know that I love quotes. I follow a lot of positive quotes. So when I'm going through my feed, like I see them, I follow some funny accounts, and obviously people that motivate me to want to be my best self and people that I love and care about. So I highly recommend unfollowing any negative account or any account that like does not benefit you, because that's going to make the difference for your social media platforms as well. Just not seeing negativity, just like filtering, your social space. I think social media can be used to be a blessing. That's what I hope with my social media. Like that's what I hope that I, put out there, like positivity, just encouragement, helping people become the best versions of themselves. That's what I want to use my social media platform for. And just to keep it real with you guys too, like I posted a lot of stuff about like my hospitalization and just like a bunch of other stuff in my life. And obviously I created the podcast so it could be like a more intimate setting, because I'm not gonna like post everything on my social media. But I hope and pray that like with my social media, you guys, feel encouraged and feel like you can relate to me as well, because this is not a perfect world, and I never want to portray like I live the perfect life, because I definitely don't. And there's a lot of things that I struggle with as well. But social media, it all depends on you. You can make it a negative thing or you can make it a positive thing. So that is definitely my answer to that question. The next question is, who is your favorite sibling? So I only have one sibling, so that was my brother Brandon. If you guys follow my personal, you know who he is. Love you, Brandon. Brandon is an amazing dude, and I'm not just saying that because he's my brother, but I am so proud of him. He's so wise, and I hope to get him on this podcast too, because he has a lot of good things to share. So let's see what else. What is the key to a woman's heart? Sir, this is a good question. So it's different for every woman. For me, the key to my heart, pizza. No, I'm not kidding. I love pizza. But that is honestly, like, which I'm going to do a whole separate episode on, like, my view on dating and relationships at this point in life. So, quickly, the key to a woman's heart, me stumped. Honestly, if you respect me, show you care about me, you're compassionate, you're patient, like all of those qualities, like that's how you will win the key to my heart. And like I said, I will dive in much later with like in a separate episode about like my dating experience and updates, because I've learned so much this year about myself and what I'm looking for in a partner. But yeah, those are the few characteristics that like will be the key to my heart. Like at this point, like, it's not really about the physical. Like, what do you bring to the table? You don't need to be the richest man and have like the nicest car. That's not what I'm saying. But like, are you going to be patient and kind and loving and compassionate and a listener, a good listener? All those things are the key to at least my heart. I don't know about anyone else, but my heart, yes. And pizza. That is a must. So sorry, I have an audio recording here. Just wanted to make sure it didn't like stop, because I am using this beautiful mic that my friend gave me. So just wanted to make sure my screen like faded away. But anyways, okay, so the next question is, what would you say is the key to having good relationships? Again, I can't wait to do this dating episode because your girl's gonna dive in. I'm gonna use that as like a general, not just romantic. Relationships in general, communication, which is something that this generation is not good at. Straight up, and we know it. Not gonna sugarcoat it, not gonna pretend like that's not really an issue, because it is. Communicating is not something that a lot of people are good at nowadays, and I don't know why. A lot of people are afraid to be vulnerable, express themselves, and guys, no. Like, being able to communicate is how you avoid assumptions and just thoughts that you don't need. To have any successful relationship, you have to be able to communicate with your people, period. Like, be honest with each other. Again, be patient, be understanding, be a good listener. Like, these are the keys that are essential for good relationships. Establishing boundaries, which, like I said, a whole other episode for this stuff, but establishing boundaries is key for, again, not just romantic, in any relationship. Like, establishing your boundaries so people know, when not to cross the line, when to just, they know to respect you, love you, and all that stuff. So those are really keys to having a good relationship. But the main one I would say is definitely communication, because without communication, and trust is another one. If you do not trust the person, romantically or not, like, there is no foundation to the relationship. So communication and trust are the main keys, but obviously I'm gonna go deeper in that another day because that's a really good question. Let's see, the next question is, they say guys can cheat with no feelings attached. Is it the same for women? So I personally have never cheated on anyone, nor will I ever cheat on anyone, because I just don't understand why cheating is even a thing. Like, if you have the thought to cheat, just be single, because obviously you're not in love with the person that you're with. So cheating is no. Absolutely not in the Good Vibras world. We don't cheat. But saying that guys can cheat with not feeling attached, the same for women. Honestly, like, I've never cheated, so I can't really say if it's the same for women. I could say that for some women, it's easy to remove feelings. I have been in situations where I can, like, just shut off my feelings. So I guess, yes, women can shut off their feelings in certain moments just like men can, but again, I've never cheated, so no. No sir, no cheating here. This question is hilarious. Do women keep rosters? Keep it real with you guys, because that's what I do. Me personally, we gonna expose her today. Nah, but in all seriousness, do women keep rosters? Yes. I think that when you are dating, you should have somewhat of a roster. Now, I'm not saying you're out here sleeping with everyone. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. When you're dating, you're kind of figuring out what you like and what you don't like. You're not committed you're not in a committed relationship. So this is the perfect opportunity to, go on dates, meet different people, kind of figure out what you like, what you don't like, in the dating phase, or talking. I don't even know the different phases. I think it's ridiculous we have different phases. But when you're getting to know people, to figure out if that person is your potential partner or not, yes, a roster is cool, because you should not put all your eggs in one basket. I learned that the hard way. And again, I'm not saying be out here in these streets being wild, but like I said, if you're dating or just trying to figure out what you like and what you don't like, yeah, it's cool. Like, meet different people. Don't limit yourself, And then when you decide that, okay, I want to be committed to this person, then, you commit fully. No cheating. So I think rosters are good. You want to keep your options open. You want to, before you commit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to figure out what you like and don't like. So that is my answer to that. What is your happiest memory? Oh, honestly, I feel like I've had so many good memories. I'm very grateful for the life that I have because I can think of quite a few immediately, actually. So I'll give a few of my happiest memories. So one of my happiest memories, I remember the day I graduated high school. My dad and we were looking for cars for me to buy. And I was like, it's gonna be a used car, like I already had picked it out, actually. And this whole time, I found out later on, the whole time my parents already had bought me a brand new car. And I didn't know that, obviously. So they're trying to keep it together. And I'm like, okay, I found a car. Like, it's here. Let's go look at it. Like, if you know my personality, your girl's always on top of stuff. So I was hunting. And, like, when I want something, I want it. So I was, like, very persistent. Like, we gotta go. Like, I want to see it. Meanwhile, this whole time, they're like, oh my gosh, little does she know that there's a car waiting for her in the driveway. So after graduation ceremony of high school, it was back in 2014, we pulled up to the house, and there it was, my white Kia with a beautiful red bow on top. And I was like, ah, like, I could not believe it. And I knew it was the brand new model of that year because I was studying these cars like crazy. And I saw like the grill and the front of it and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a new car. Like, I'm a goof. But yeah, that is one of my happiest moments. When I got my brand new car my parents bought for me as a graduation gift. And another good happy moment was when I graduated nursing school because, like I mentioned before, I failed out of the RN program. So when I graduated from the LPN program, it was a huge accomplishment for me, and I was super happy. So they're like my top two happiest moments. I have so many happy moments though, but those are the top two that like first came to my mind. So that is that. Next question is, what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you? I don't know. I guess, I'm sure there's other stuff, but the first thing, like I said, I'm answering these like right now, live. So like whatever comes to my mind first, that's what we're going with. I could say like the scariest thing that's ever happened to me so far in my life would be the day that I was at the beach with my friend. This was this past year, actually, in March, and I was laying down tanning, and then all of a sudden I couldn't wake up. Like it felt like I was completely paralyzed. Like I couldn't walk, I couldn't stand up, I couldn't move. And that was because I was in a lupus flare, but at the time I didn't know that I had lupus. And it was a very scary moment because I mean, I've never had any health issues in my life ever. And then all of a sudden I'm at the beach vibing, and then the next second, like, it feels like paralysis all over my body, and I can't get up, I can't walk, I can't do anything. That was a scary moment because, to be honest, like, I mean, I had no idea what was going to happen next. One, I had no idea what was happening because it just was out of nowhere, and I was like, what if I can never walk again? Like, it just, a lot of things running through my head. So that was definitely one of like my scariest moments that I could think of recently. If there was a memory you wish you could erase from your mind, what would it be? I don't know. I'm the type of person that like never has any like regrets. So like I know like everything I go through has brought me to this point in my life. But a memory that I wish I could erase from my mind, honestly, I have no idea. I guess maybe the one thing I wish I could erase, like if I had to pick something, I wish I could erase the heartbreak that I experienced in my first and really only relationship I've had. It was really toxic, and I did an episode on that as well, so I'll leave that in the description box too. But I think that relationship really has brought me to like where I am today all these years later. Like, obviously everything serves a purpose. But I wish I could erase a lot of the pain that I did go through because, like, I don't want those memories. But do they haunt me? No. Like, I have completely healed and like grown and all that. But if I had to pick something, I would pick that. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in life so far? This is a good one. The biggest lesson I've learned in life so far, I will say, is learning to truly love yourself and protect your energy. Okay, so that's two things. But it falls into the same realm. So, it's not simple, but the truth is, and I know it's advertised everywhere, but I really have learned this year how to love myself beyond just like, oh, I want to look good and look cute, but more of like loving myself to the point where like I'm protecting my energy. I'm not tolerating certain things anymore. I'm establishing boundaries. I'm enjoying alone time. I'm learning to say no, like all those things. Like that is the biggest lesson I've learned in life so far. And learning not to take things personal. That's another thing too. Something that I've done for years, and then finally, you know, I had a good friend bring it to my attention. And I love constructive criticism. Like I'm always trying to work on being my best self. So I was like, no, tell me, be honest with me. Like what's one thing that I have to work on? One of the things I have to work on. And he was like, you take things personal sometimes, too personal. And I knew it came with a lot of love, because he's like, I just, you know, being honest. He's like, but not to offend you or anything. And I was like, no, like I know it. Like, but I love hearing it from other people too, so I can be like, all right, like fix this, Brie. So yeah, all those things really. I mean, I can honestly say now that it's like the end of the year, like I have loved myself. I've never loved myself more than I do now. Like this phase in my life, I'm proud of myself because your girl is complicated, but I definitely have finally reached that point where I'm happy with being alone, enjoying my own company, loving myself, not taking things personal, and realizing that like at the end of the day, I can only control the things I can control, and everything else, gotta leave it to the man upstairs, you know? Like everything's gonna work out how it's supposed to, so there's no need to stress. Now, have I perfected this 100%? No. But I can honestly say like I've come a long way, and I'm really happy because these are important lessons for us to learn and to take with us every day. And I just went on a little tangent, but that's what I have for you guys for that question. Okay, these I'm telling you, these questions are really good. So someone asked, can you truly love someone new if you're always worried about an ex? I don't think you can love someone new if you're constantly worrying about your ex. Now, to me, what that sounds like is like you're not 100% over that situation. Maybe you're over the person, because I've been in that situation where like I don't want to go back to the person, but I'm not over like what happened to me. So that's when you have to sit back and think like, okay, be honest with yourself. Like, have I moved on? Yes, I could be over the person, but I'm kind of low-key still bitter about certain things. I'm still hurt about certain things. And no, you can't truly love someone new if you have not healed yourself. I firmly believe that. That's why I haven't been in a relationship all these years. Not saying that I'm not healed, because, which I'll answer one of these questions, ask if I'm dating or something, so I'll answer that there. No, you can't truly love someone new if you're always worried about an ex. I don't think so. I think in order for you to fully have a healthy relationship with your next person, you need to have healed from your past relationships, because then you're going to project that onto the new person, and that's not fair for them. So heal those wounds. Be honest with yourself. It is not easy to do that, but when you take the time to heal those wounds and, you know, do some real deep soul searching and all of that, like, trust me, it's worth it, because when you do meet the next person that's for you, you know, you're not going to project those emotions onto them, and you're going to be able to love them fully, the best you can, you know, and you'll be healed, and it'll be healthy. So that's my answer to that question. This is a good one too. Can two broken hearts come together in a newfound love? So I guess it kind of like goes back to like this other question too. I think that, again, it's important to heal. It's important to, after you come out of a relationship, to not just jump into the next one. You really need to take time to heal, and fix your broken heart. Now, in a new relationship where you're ready to date, but maybe I'll use myself for example. You know, I only know toxic relationships. Romantic relationships. I've healed all those wounds, thank God. But I know from my dating experience, like the one thing that would get me nervous was, you know, will I be hurt again? Will they, you know, ruin the trust we have? Like, you know, thinking of all these little things, little doubts. But I've met people who have like reassured me, like, no, like, talk to me, just communicate with me. And even though those relationships didn't work out, my point is that someone can show you, not necessarily heal you, but they can show you that they won't do the same things that others have done to you. So even though you're a little nervous and scared, they'll like reassure you and heal that part, I guess you could. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying. Like, not that they're gonna like fix you and heal you, but like they could heal that wound in a sense. Like if you're nervous about like someone not communicating with you, they could show you, and you make that, you know, clear to them. You'll see in their actions, they'll reassure you and be like, you know, I'm not like them. Like, I'm different. Like, trust me, you can communicate with me. You could talk to me. It's funny because there was a guy, like, I'll never forget. I was dating him for a few months, and I was healed from my past relationship, but like I said, I was still kind of like, like with communicating. Like, I felt like I had a hard time communicating because in my past relationships, you know, that wasn't something I could do. Like, I was always shut down, like no one cared, or I was ignored. So with this individual, you know, he was so patient, and he told me from the beginning, like, you can talk to me, like, I'm here for you, don't hold anything back, communicate with me. He's like, I'm here to listen. And that, I feel like, is a good example to this question: can two broken hearts come together to found new love? Not if you're out of a relationship fresh, and no, you can't heal each other. But if you heal on your own, and there's certain things you haven't perfected, because no one's perfect, that person can heal those wounds by showing you that there are good people out there who can fulfill those needs that you've ever gotten, as far as like, you know, communication and whatever it is. I hope that makes sense. Me elaborating like very long responses, but I don't know, like I said, I'm just answering these on the spot, so like whatever I'm thinking is just gonna come to mind, and it's just gonna flow. Ugh, my allergies are so bad here. Okay, the next question is, what was your relationship with your sibling like growing up? So it's funny because, so Brandon and I are 15 months apart. A lot of people think we're twins. We're not twins. We don't even look alike. When we were younger, we were your typical siblings, like, and probably it was mostly me because I was so bad when I was younger, always trying to start fights, aggressive. Like, I had low-key anger issues when I was younger, and I don't know why, because I think about it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, how could I ever do that? But Brandon and I always argued a lot. And again, it was mostly me just antagonizing and just starting stuff, like typical siblings fighting. As we both got older, our bond has changed like drastically. Like, we are like each other's best friends, and it's been tough living, 2,000 miles away from home. You know, I miss my family a lot, and especially, Brandon, I just miss bothering him and just like, messing with him, but also, our bond, like, we were each other's best friends. Like, he told me the other day, we were on FaceTime, and he goes, I was like, do you miss me? He's like, yeah. He's like, it gets lonely sometimes. He's like, I wish you were here, dude. Like, we were always together for 24 years. Well, his life, 23 years. But, we were always together all this time. And then, I just left. So now we really do feel like I miss you. Like, I appreciate you, man. I wish you never took those moments for granted. I know I think that too. But we definitely have a close bond, even though we're far away from each other. Brandon's my best friend, and I probably tell him more than he wants to know. But he loves his crazy sister, and I love him too. So I'm very grateful to have the type bond that I do with my brother. I think it's super important. Family's important. Okay, what's your top 3 life experiences? Moving on my own, out of state by myself. That is definitely like the top of the list. I think that was a big, not I think, that was a big life decision that I made, especially because I always lived at home, close to family, and then I decided to just pick up and leave and move to Florida, which, for those of you who don't know, I am from New Jersey, so that is very far. And it's funny because my parents are like, why did you choose to move so far for the first time, like your first time moving out? And honestly, I've always been in love with Florida. I've talked about my moving experience in season 1. I felt like I was supposed to be in Florida. Like, I felt drawn, and I love my life here. And it hasn't been perfect, obviously, but I love it here. So moving here is definitely like number 1. That was like an amazing life-changing experience that I had, and it's changed my life in so many good ways. So definitely the best decision I've made. Another top life experience, I don't know. I I can't think of two. I mean, I could think of things, but like, are they the top? I don't know. I mean, becoming a nurse was another great life experience. Like, just the whole journey, overcoming failure and pushing through. Um, that's all I can think of right now. But that is a good question. Okay, so since I did mention the whole moving to Florida thing, someone asked, do you have any tips on moving to Florida from Jersey? So, what I highly recommend is paying off all your debt if you have any. I paid off all my debt before I moved because I wanted like a fresh, clean slate. So I was like, no debt. I am moving, fresh start. Don't gotta worry about none of that. So if you have debt, pay it all off. That way you don't have to worry about that coming to a new state. It's like a fresh start. I will say the rent has gone up. I know this is like specific to Florida. So I will say the rent has gone up so much in Florida. I think because everyone wants to move here. So it is expensive. I live in the Tampa Bay area. It's definitely gone up in prices. So I would just, try to find something that's like really within your budget and affordable. Also, the location is key. I actually came to Florida a year before I moved to Florida, and I've never been in the Tampa Bay area. So I got an Airbnb. I flew out by myself, explored the area. I had a friend here to show me around, and that's how I knew I wanted to be in this area. So definitely like visit the area you want to first. Make sure you like, where the surrounding areas. Make sure you like have your shops or whatever you need nearby. Like I had a list of things that were like non-negotiables. Like I was like, I need to be near the water, I need to be near like shopping malls, plazas, near like the airport. Like certain things were key for me, and it happened. So make a list of things that are your non-negotiables. Go visit the area. Highly recommend that, because then it kind of like, it makes it feel real, and then you can actually you can actually be there physically and be like, okay, can I see myself here? And doing that helped me, because I literally, as soon as I was here for those few days, I was like, yeah, this is it. Like I felt it in my heart. I was like, this is the place. So I definitely recommend doing that. Someone goes, still taking applications. Honestly, I literally, this year, I really dated. Like, I've talked to people in the past, but like this year, I actually dated. I don't want to say speed dated, but I definitely met a lot of different people, got to know what I like and what I don't like, went on some good days. I learned a lot about myself. And like I said, I'll do a separate episode on this, but I also went through a period where I was like, recently, where I was like, I don't want to date anymore. Not right now. Like, I just want to focus on me. So a few months of that was definitely necessary, because let me keep it real. Some of these men out here, y'all got to get yourselves together, because you make dating complicated. No one's perfect, right? We all have our things. But I was just like exhausted. I was like, I don't even got time for this. Like, I'm just gonna focus on me. And doing that for quite some time has helped a lot, because I feel like now, like, if I meet someone who really like grabs my attention, we're vibing, and it's a good friendship, because that's another thing too, like friendship is so important for me. Like that's what I want in my next relationship. Like I want us to have such a solid friendship foundation, because I've learned like without that, like the relationships won't flourish that well. Like it's so different when you're building that friendship bond, because and like respecting each other's boundaries, like it really is a game changer, and that's what I definitely want going forward. So am I still taking applications at this point? Like I said, if someone catches my attention, or I don't know, I'd be like, yeah. Am I actively looking like on the dating apps? I am on dating apps, but I can honestly say I don't even go on them that much anymore. Like I really, I don't know. Not really, no. Like I said, if I meet someone or whatever, I'm down for it. But so yes, I'm open to dating, resuming dating, I guess you could say, but I'm not like actively like looking. But if someone catches my eye and has a great personality and we vibe, then yes, he will be a lucky man. But yeah, that's my spiel. Let's see what other questions are there. What's your pet peeve as a nurse? A not organized space. I love being organized and having everything neat and clean. So when I go to my desk or wherever I'm at, because I'm in a different setting now, if it's not clean, I'm like, ugh, like I'm disinfecting. Like I need a clean space. I like things to be neat. I'm very like OCD with that. Like I need a clean space. And, you know, we got the COVID out here and just a bunch of other viruses. Like I don't want things dirty because I don't want to get sick. Especially now that my immune system is a lot weaker. So I guess that's one of my pet peeves. Like just things being dirty, not clean, not put back in their place. That drives me nuts. Okay, let's see. I have more questions. Okay, this one. It's a good one. Y'all asked some good relationship questions. I can't wait to do my relationship episode or dating. So someone asked, why does it hurt when somebody you care about leaves? When you know who you are and what you have to offer and you're content and happy with yourself and confident, but you know you can support and protect them, but why does it hurt? Okay, so I think what the person's trying to ask is like, why does it hurt when someone leaves? When you're confident in yourself, but you know you can give them the world, I guess. That's what it sounds like. Why does it hurt? So it's funny because I definitely can relate to this. This is a really good question. I always had a hard time with people leaving. I never did well with like letting go. It's something that I still am not like 100% good at now, but now I realize like someone leaving my life is because their chapters closing in my life, and that's when I have to be like, okay, God, like I trust you. But because I've been in these situations, why does it hurt? Even though like I'm confident with myself and what I have to offer and all of that, it still hurts. And I think it's because, from my personal experience, like I said, it's just my opinion. I think it hurts because when you're willing to give your all to someone and they like reject it, it's like like it hurts because like, why? Like I want to be there for you, I want to help you, and they have their reasons. Like this is what I'm saying, like I learned not to take things personal anymore. I'm still working on it, but I think it hurts because it could be like a pride or ego thing, or it also could be like you truly love them, but like I really think it's like a rejection, pride and ego thing, because at the end of the day, like I said, like if you're confident with yourself and you know that people come for seasons, some people will come for seasons, then you're gonna, when they leave, you're not gonna be like, but why? You're gonna be like, okay, like it is what it is. As long as you know you did everything on your part, you know, when they leave, it's like, okay, you know, it is what it is. I guess we're done in each other's lives, our chapter is closing, it's for a purpose, right? So honestly, if it hurts, it's probably because, you know, you're taking it personal, pride and ego are getting in the way. That's my honest answer. And I say that because I've been in that situation before, and I realized what it really was I was just kind of like butthurt, you know, and I was like, but why, not realizing, you know, not thinking like, okay, it is what it is, you know, because the reality is, it is what it is. If someone leaves, it's because they're supposed to, you know. Like I said, if you've done your part, you gotta trust the process. Not everyone's meant to stay, and that's just the reality of it, you know. Okay, another one is, what's one activity you haven't done yet but it's on your bucket list? I have a long bucket list, sir. So the first one I can think of is going to Bora Bora, and I know it's so expensive and I don't know if I'll ever make it out there. I wish. I don't know, probably not, but that's on my bucket list, to go to Bora Bora. But I want to go to Europe so bad. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Greece. Like I just want to explore the other continent. So I guess that's on my bucket list. Hopefully I can do that now that like traveling is like a thing again, because I just want to explore like different countries, cultures. Like to me that's so exciting. So I hope I could do that. Oh, you know what? I just thought of this one too. I want to swim with great white sharks, like go in an actual cage. So I know it sounds crazy, but when I was 20, I actually treated myself, my birthday gift to myself was swimming with sharks. Back in New Jersey, there was an aquarium and they let you swim with sharks and stingrays, and I did that, and it was super cool. crazy, but cool. And I was like, yo, I really want to do the great white shark cages. So guess that is on my bucket list. I forgot about that one. Oh, someone goes, how do you stay motivated, girl? I need all the secrets. I really appreciate that. Honestly, when you kind of like learn to like really love yourself and make yourself a priority, you want to fulfill all your needs, right? So like if you have goals that you're trying to accomplish or projects you're trying to get done, you're gonna execute them because you know it's going to fulfill you, it's going to make you happy, and it's something that you have a desire and a passion for. So, taking the time to sit down, write down, like goals you want to accomplish, who you want to be. I love doing that because it really helps me like redirect my focus and figure out like where I want to go, what direction in life. So I would say, take time to reflect, meditate, be by yourself, write down your thoughts, fill your mind with like amazing, soul fulfilling books and podcasts, all that stuff. Just kind of like figure out who you want to be, write it down, and then go from there. Have a plan. That's where consistency and discipline comes in, but the motivational part is just kind of like creating your environment to keep you in that mindset of like, what you want to achieve constantly, so you're not like falling off track. So write it all out, girl. Oh, this is so cool. Would you come to Cali for a vacation to meet some of your podcast followers? I'd love to meet you. Your podcasts are awesome. That is so cool. It's so sweet. Thank you. That is awesome. Hello, my Cali people. I definitely want to go to California. I feel like California, if it wasn't so expensive, like I would definitely have probably moved there too. I would love to go to California, 100%. That is definitely on my list of places to go. It would be cool to meet some podcast followers. Absolutely. It's funny because when I look at like the analytics on my streaming platforms, it tells me like what countries and towns and all that people are listening. It's crazy. Like, but I have people listening in like Australia, Jamaica, like random places, Germany, like, but even India, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is the beauty of social media. And just like, see, that's the good with social media, because I want my podcast and all my content to like reach other people and help other people. So when I saw that, I was like, yo, and then this, like, that is so sweet. That makes me so happy. Thank you so much. Sending all the good vibras and love your way, my California people, and to everyone too, of course. But that, I definitely would love to meet some podcast followers in California. 100%. I'm gonna make it out there. You wait and see. The next question is, what was the biggest challenge in achieving your LPN and how did you overcome it? So the biggest challenge for me was not letting the fear of failure like overcome me, because I failed the program and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this again. I'm restarting. What if I fail? That was the biggest challenge. Just like getting out of that mindset and just reminding myself like, I can do it. I can do it. Anything I set my mind to, I can do it. Let's see. Oh, someone did ask about the relationship between me and my brother, but they said, what's your favorite traditions together? So I would say, and Brandon can like attest to this, Brandon and I had this thing, like every Friday we would go to what's called an inlet. So it's basically like a canal that connects to the ocean. And there's rocks and you can just sit there and chill by the beach. And we would always get like burritos. I love burritos, and I am obsessed with sour cream. Of course, I don't really eat those things anymore because of my diet with the whole lupus thing. But Brendan and I would go to Surf Taco, and we would get these burritos and just well, he wouldn't like the sour cream, so he wouldn't get that. But I would get like a 6-ounce sour cream, and we would just eat our burritos by the water and just talk about life. And that was like an every Friday thing almost. And I miss that. That is definitely one of our favorite traditions. Ooh, this is a good one. We're wrapping it up here. Someone asked, how do you handle your lupus, being active outdoors, I guess they were trying to say, and what meds and diet are you on? So I'm going to do a whole updated lupus episode because I have some exciting news, and just a regular health update in general. I will say the meds that I'm on, so I'm only on Plaquenil right now, which is one med. I am off the steroids, thank God. So Plaquenil is basically a medication that's like the standard for all lupus patients, and it basically suppresses the immune system. So lupus, your immune system is constantly attacking itself aggressively. So Plaquenil, the medication, basically kind of like slows down that whole process of the body attacking itself. It suppresses the immune system, and the purpose is to prevent flares and all of that. Diet, I will say, I'm not perfect at it, but the anti-inflammatory diet is literally the diet that I am trying to follow. I would say I'm at the 90% mark of it. I don't eat gluten. Like I said, some days I cheat, but basically that involves like no gluten, no breads. I'll have sourdough bread because that's not inflammatory. So anything that's like just not inflammatory, a lot of veggies, no dairy. Dairy is like the worst when it comes, like that's like the biggest like inflammatory, like if you want to go into some inflammation flares, dairy. Dairy is the worst. So yeah, just an anti-inflammatory diet. Like I said, I'm not perfect at it. I'm trying to get better with it, but that is the diet that I follow, and that's the med I'm on. And activity outdoors, and now that my joints are feeling better than where they were, I'm definitely trying to get back into like my fitness and all of that. Fresh air, it's so important. Even if it's like a little walk or just breathing in the fresh air helps a lot. Outdoors, you got to be careful with the sun. That, not for everyone, but I think for the most part, for all patients that have lupus, the sun is like the biggest flare, like the biggest cause to a flare. Like the UV lights, like it's just not good. So gotta be careful with the sun. But yeah, I mean, lupus can definitely be managed. You can live a somewhat normal life. Like I said, I'm gonna do a whole episode on this, so stay tuned for that, because I will definitely dive into that. And I think this is the last question. Yeah, this is the last question I'm gonna answer. Someone said, you should talk about how you met an amazing travel nurse from Texas. So yes, which I want him on my podcast as well. His name is DJ Vicio, VICIO_RN. He is a nurse that I met on Instagram, and I actually met him in person here in Florida because he is currently working in Miami as a travel nurse. And such an awesome individual. Vicente, shout out to you. He is a DJ. He is awesome. And like I said, I want to have him on the podcast as well. So little shout out to my homie. But yeah, that is basically, those are all the questions that I'm going to answer. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I know it's kind of a little long, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more episodes. We are back in action, and I'm going to have some awesome guests on the podcast, and I'm so excited for you guys to tune in and check them out. And just, like I said, leave comments, like and subscribe, share the podcast. All this stuff helps with just getting it out there, promoting it, like just, letting the world know about Good Vibras, because that is the goal here. Want to help be a beacon of light to this world and just make a difference and help people become the best versions of themselves. So thank you guys so much. If you guys ever have any questions, DM me on my personal Instagram, the Good Vibras podcast, for episode suggestions. Everything's going to be in the description box below, so don't you worry. But thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great week, and sending those good vibras your way. Bye guys.